Hey everybody, Johnny Vivento here. How you doing? I'm back again. Haven't been on for quite a couple of days. Been pretty busy. Great to see you all. Hope you're still out there. My subscribers, which are 126,000, no, 126, I'm sorry. Please subscribe, press the like button. I want to keep being out here. My goal is to, my ambition is to reach 1,000 subscribers. And it's not to be monetified really, it's just for my satisfaction part, because I don't want to be outdone by SarasotaTim, okay? Basically, that's how it is. I watched his show yesterday, he's doing very well. It's the same old, but he's entertaining. And I wish I could be as entertaining as him. I mean, I wish I could talk about things that he talks about. I mean, he is pretty technical in a lot of ways. I mean, I can talk to you about this sofa, how it was made. I used to make sofas years and years ago. But, I just don't want to do that. I'd rather talk about moving to Mexico and how things are. I'm going to show you a little, this is where I live. This is a complex I live, and I'm going to show you what it's like, okay? I really want to do this because, oh God, I got the screen open. Now look at this down here, you see? Oh gorgeous, we've got the palapa over there. My friend Dan is over there. I don't know if he wants me to film him, but he probably doesn't, but there you go. This is what it's like. This is where I live. And it's heat now. It's kind of windy, but it's about 80, I think it's about 86 degrees right now. Here I am, I'm sorry. Pretty unprofessional, but I just bought something actually. I just bought one of these. Okay, so I'm going to start using these. I'm going to start going to the beach tomorrow to start a new way that I'm going to do. And this is all my, oh God. See, this thing isn't so good, is it? You know what it is? I haven't done this right. I just took this off. I'm trying to wind that thing back on there. Okay. This is actually my studio. This is actually not my apartment. This is mine, I own it, but it's actually not where I live. I'm actually renting this place out. I got a new tenant coming in, and there you go. And to be honest, the way I've been thinking of late is I'm actually I've been looking at the shows, the van life shows with the wife. We've been looking at the van life shows and trailers and whatever. And to be honest and truthful with you, it's a pretty good option. It's pretty fun to do, But Mexico is Mexico. And that's where we are right now. And I'm very happy to be here. There's my dining room. There's a lot of stuff on the table that shouldn't be there, but there you go. As I say, I'm renting this place out. I've had a few inquiries, but we lost our long-time tenants in here, and that was helping me. With my Social Security, it was helping me. I was in trouble because I went back to Colorado, as you know, for a year. I was actually there 14 months. Had a few financial problems, especially with my son, whatever. I had a few things we had to straighten out, which we did. So it was well worth it in that way. But I got hit badly with the tax man at the end of my thing because I'm on Social Security. If you go over a certain threshold, you're in big trouble, and that's exactly what happened to me. So I lost quite a considerable amount of money. Plus, there's new things I would have talked to you about. The new stipulations to be here in Mexico as a resident, okay, which are absolutely outrageous right now. Now you have to get temporary residency in Mexico right now, you need $4,400 a month coming into your bank account. That's each person to get your temporary residency. Absolutely outrageous, and it's because of the Trump administration, I believe, because they've been harassing Mexicans, and now they're making it very, very tough for Americans to come here. Also, you need the other way you can go around it, without the $44,000 for the last 12 months, you need a $75,000 bank balance for the last 12 months, and you can buy a property for 10 million pesos, which is about 550,000 US dollars. In some states, I believe, this is in Jalisco, but in some states you can go down to $300,000 for a property to get your temporary residency. That's what I believe. You know, somebody told me that's what it is. Nothing's clear. In Mexico, things change from month to month, and nothing's really clear. It's gone up double from last year, plus the visa is double. I just reapplied. I just had to reapply because I was supposed to get my permanent in October, and I lost it because I was working in Colorado, and I should have come back, but I didn't. I thought, well, is it going to be worth me coming back? Maybe I can get it when I get there. Yeah. And I made a big, big blunder, because now I've got to spend a lot of money, dollars in the thousands, to stay here for the next 4 years. And then I reapply again for my visa, which is no problem, I'm sure. But once you're here, it's fine. But to get on the state medical, you need the visa. You know, you need it. So apparently I have to wait probably another month before I get my first initial visa. Okay, which is going to be for like 2 years, hopefully. And I own properties, so with the wife. So let's hope we get it, and I'm just hoping that we get it. We know there's problems. The immigration department was pretty salty. Okay, when I went there, the reason is that they hear all about the stuff going on with Mexicans in the United States, and they're with the government, of course. And they're a little different to the way they were 2-3 years ago. It's a massive difference. I was there 2-3 years ago to get my initial visa. Nowadays, they're a lot more abrupt. You know, they're abrupt. What is this? And do that. Did you sign this? It's just a non-stop thing. We even had to go to a lawyer this time to straighten stuff out because we couldn't get it done ourselves. And we had to pay for the lawyer to fill out the paperwork, because now it's like 3 times more than it was 3 years ago. They're just trying to, and it's the same with Mexicans in the United States. They're getting a hard time, basically, and that's what's going on. So yeah, Sarasota Tim's right. Retire to Florida. You're going to be a lot, I'm just kidding. You can still come here. It's still safe. Believe me, no one died in those episodes a month ago. Or, yeah, 5 weeks ago. Nobody died. Okay, people think, oh my God, they were firebombing, but they were giving people warnings: get off buses, get out of their cars, get out of convenience stores that they burned down. Even a restaurant they burned down in downtown Puerto Vallarta. I've been a few times. The whole place went up in flames, and you have to understand that that's the way they do things here in Mexico. Nothing's really straight. You don't know what's going on from week to week. Tourists are really, really taken care of here, you know, believe me, normally. You get a lot of respect. Mexicans are happy you're here because they want your business, they want you to spend money, which every American and Canadian does here anyway. Can you give me a second? Okay. I've got my coffee here, I'm sorry. Oh, God. This is a coffee, oh, God. It's called, you might not have heard of it, they sell it here in Mexico. It's called Chock full of nuts. Oh my God, it's the best cup of coffee I've had actually, chock full of nuts. This is what we had I couldn't find my regular coffee in Costco, which is Blason, B-L-A-S-O-N. So I had to get chock full of nuts, can you believe, in Costco. And it's pretty good though. It's not cheap though. And Blason is twice as good, and it's about 3/4 of the price of the chock full of nuts. Well, anyway, enough of that. So that's why the visa, we've had a problem with the visa, but I'm getting through that right now. As I told you even in the last video, you don't need residency. I think you're better off now, don't get residency. I'm just doing it because I want to start working here and I want to pay the tax. I want to pay taxes. I want to start working, even at my age, and I'm going to pay taxes. I want to pay taxes. I want to be completely legal. If you want to come as a retiree, if I actually want to come and not work and do nothing, I don't need the visa. Okay? I don't need it at all. It's actually not needed, basically. So you have to think, well, why is he saying that? Well, you're legally allowed to be in Mexico for 180 days. You can go out, come back, and you're legally for another 180 days. And then you can go out and come back, and you can do this for years. There's a lot of people that do it. Not everybody, but there's a lot of people that do it. It's a common thing. You're not going to be arrested for doing it. It's not illegal. You're allowed to. You say, I went out and I had a couple of days in New Zealand and I came back. I want another vacation. I'm a retiree. Here's my Social Security card and here's what I make every month. There's nothing illegal about that. You're just spending your money that you get from Social Security and your retirement in Mexico. That's all it is. You don't have to buy a place, but you can buy without having a visa. Okay? As long as you pay the trust fee, the fideicomiso, every year, which is $500 a year for your property, you can stay. Okay? You have a property, even though you're not legally in the country, you're a tourist, okay? And you're legal, but you're illegal as far as working goes or business, okay? And it's a piece of paper, that's all it is, okay? And you can stay here and live in life like a lot of people do. Thousands of people here are living on their Social Security without having a visa. A lot of them are getting the temporary visa because it does help you in a way, because you can get on the state register for medical. Okay, that's a big plus. But a lot of people, you don't have that. If you have medical insurance coming into this country, you don't need that. I don't have medical insurance. Even though I have Medicare in the United States, it doesn't follow me over here. Okay, I don't have a private insurance, which a lot of people here do. So you arrive. You're here. Airbnb, I've told everyone 1,000 times. Airbnb, you get your Airbnb for a couple of days, 3 or 4 days. What can it cost? $150? Okay, somewhere close to downtown. Ubers are cheap. From where I live, an Uber to the marina is $5. To the airport is about $7. Sorry, to the marina it's about $6, to the airport it's $7, and to downtown it's like $10. If there's 3 of you, it's $3 each to get an Uber from where I live, and I'm 3 miles from the coast. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is that your Airbnb doesn't have to be that far from downtown, but if you can get a better place if you're 3-4 miles outside Puerto Vallarta, outside the main drag, you'll get a better place, and you can Uber in to look for somewhere to live every day. I mean, you can do it that way. I guarantee you'll find a place the first couple of days you're here. They don't last long. Okay, and there's a lot available right now, but there's quite a few available. People think they can come here for $200 a month. No, they can't. It's not going to be that little. It's going to be $500, $450 to $500 to $600 for a really nice, decent place furnished. Okay, there's a place near Puerto Vallarta called Pitayal, where I would actually live if I never lived where I am. I love living where I am because I'm kind of secluded here, and I'm on a complex with a pool and gardens and nice people, and I love living here, and I've had this place for years. But if I was single, I would definitely move to Pitayal, or even if I had my wife with me, you could move to Pitayal, which is right next to the main drag of Puerto Vallarta. It's a real local area, marketplace, very vibrant, lots and lots of people, great restaurants, great food, great everything, drinking if you'd like to drink. I mean, there's bars, there's all kinds of stuff there, but what I'm trying to get at, it's a nice place to live, and it's pretty inexpensive, okay? In Pitayal, my stepson just got a really nice apartment in Pitayal, unfurnished, for $7,000 a month. Now you have to walk up. He's on the first floor. The stairs are kind of cast iron rickety, I gotta say. But wow, I got in there. I was like, wow, this is a nice place. Massively high ceilings, 2 bedrooms, very high ceilings, bathroom, kitchen, Kitchen's big, by the way. And he has a little outside balcony as well, which is really nice. $7,000 a month. Sorry, 7,000 pesos a month. I'm sorry. Which is about $400 US. The only thing he has to pay, he pays his electric bill, which is something like $30 a month. He has communal internet, so he has just internet in his place. That's all he wants is internet, which he has. It's, what do you call it? It is, God, what's the terminology now? Terminology, because I haven't used it for a long time. It's the, God, I'll get back to it, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's a special internet he has in there, and it works really well. He's really happy with it, and he's kind of happy there. You know, he says, wow, I love it here because it's unfurnished. He bought a few things in there. He wants it to be minimal anyway, but he has a table and chairs and a kitchen set up. He's doing the kitchen now. He's redecorating everything, painting everything, but that's what he pays. You know, he pays about a little less than $400 a month. It's about $370 a month with Internet 4. The only thing he doesn't have the water system, but you know, he has to carry water, but he has a car, so he can do that. Because in Mexico you can't use the tap water. You've got to have water in the big like barrels, you know. We have filtered water here, but you can do it yourself. I mean, you could get Bebbia. It's called Bebbia, which is really great. A lot of people have it here, and you can have the water for $25 a month. Okay, they put a water system in your apartment. That's all it is, $25 a month. It's well worth it. Saves you carrying water, and you know the water's perfect. And they test it every few months. They come and take them to your house and they do test it. So, yeah. So anyway, that's how much it is. Okay, now you can do the same. Furnished, let's say you're paying $100 more than that. You're in now $500 a month. $500 a month. There's two of you with two Social Securities, for God's sake. Maybe you can work as a digital nomad. I don't know. But the thing is, you can do it, and you can get over here, and you're legal. You get over here, you sign a lease, and you get your place, and you start living a life. Okay? If you live where I was telling you, in Pitayal, you don't need a car. There's buses non-stop, plus Ubers and taxis are real cheap to downtown. You know, we're talking $5 to $7 or even less. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is that nothing's too expensive. What I used to do, I used to get a taxi to the edge of Puerto Vallarta, main town, and then walk. Because you have the Malecon, you have, you know, Puerto Vallarta isn't that big anyway, but you can walk from one end to the other in an hour, you know, so, and it's a great walk, and you're in the sunshine, and it's beautiful. You know, that's just the way it is, you know. Anybody can do it. I would recommend doing it. From what I went through in Colorado, I worked my butt off, and I made some money. I paid a lot of debts off. I made some money, gotta say. Was it worth it in the end? Just. I'm being honest, just worth it, you know. I made some money. The tax man got me in the end, actually. You know, I just overdid it a little bit. I should have stayed off the overtime. That's what I was told by my accountant. They said, you've got to get under a threshold. I actually went over that threshold. I didn't think I had, but I had. And one of my jobs involved driving in between jobs, where I was getting paid mileage. And that was a big problem. That mileage added up. I didn't even realize it. You know, and I was paying tax for a single man, even though I am married. But my wife was in Mexico, so I did the single part, and it went against me, you know, basically. And going over the threshold hurt, but I'm okay. I'm alive at my age. I'm living in a nice place, a nice environment. I love America. God bless America, you know. Another thing that I have to tell you is that I hear a lot of people saying that, you know, they have problems getting jobs, they're this age, that age, I'm 60, I can't get a job. I don't see how, because when I arrived in Colorado, I was 68 years old. Actually, I tell a lie, I'm sorry, I was 67 years old. I turned 68 while I was there in August. And this August coming, I'm 69. And I arrived there not knowing really what was going to happen. You know, when you get to 67, you go, well, I haven't worked for a couple of years. Am I going to be accepted? And incredibly, I found a job quick. I mean, I found a job within a month, like a good one. And then I got off to another one, and then another one, and another one. I got off to about 4 jobs after applying for 20. So I went on Indeed. I applied for 20 jobs. And I was actually offered, I went to like 8 interviews, and I think I was offered 4 jobs in the end. And I had to turn 2 down. I took 2 jobs, so I had a kind of a full-time job. I had like a 30, 35-hour-a-week job during the day. And at night, I did my night shift, which was a full-time position, which I was doing more than 8 hours. I was doing usually 9 to 10 hours in that job. The thing is, man, if I can do it, anybody can. How can people say they can't find jobs? They were calling out for people to work. And I was in the medical profession, working in a medical capacity with people with Alzheimer's. And then during the day, I was working with a VA. I got a job with a VA. Do you believe this? I got a job with a VA. A 67-year-old guy gets a job with a VA, you know? And it was actually an agency that dealt only with the VA. They're one of their biggest agencies. And I got a job. And he was like, how the hell did you do it? Well, I just went for an interview and I was honest. They asked me, have you worked in this field before? I said, I've never worked with vets before. I would like to. I said, you know, I'm very good with older people. And you know, and they went, okay, can you do this small exam? Which I didn't want to do. I hate exams. And I did. I took the exam. They went out to process it as I was there. And they came back and they offered me the job. I swear to God. I had the interview. I filled out this, you know, they were there. And we had 3 of us, okay, doing this exam. And within a half an hour, they had offered me the job as a independent caregiver for veterans, okay? And which meant I had to take care of certain veterans. I actually had 5 in the end. And it just shows you the guy, 67 years old, can go out and get a job, okay? Decent money too, plus mileage. They couldn't find people. They actually could not find people with a clean background. That's what it is, it's the background. They give you that check, which before I went for the interview, I already had the background check done. Otherwise you couldn't get the interview. So I went in there, filled out the forms. Do you consent to the background check? Yes, everything, all my information was on there. And then if you get cleared on that, then they will bring you in for an interview. And I got offered a job that day. Incredibly, so many people fail that check. It could be for anything stupid from 20 years ago, and they won't give you that job. Then they give you scenarios on the exam. What would you do in this situation, on that situation? And then you have to go through videos, and you have to pass that too. Certain tests on the video, on you know, it's like a screening, and that video lasts for like, God, it's like 8 hours. And I had that in the other job I had as well. I had to go through that. I had to do like a 2-day video test for Alzheimer's and for, dementia people. And believe it or not, I had just done the one at the other place, exactly the same. So when I did this one, people said, how the hell did you finish it so quick? I was done in 6 hours. Why? Because I went to the results, and I just pressed in exactly the same answers I'd given, and I passed in 6 hours. They said it's impossible. But I had just done, they didn't realize I had just done the same test almost at another facility. So anyway, just shows you, I don't see how people can say that they're unemployed. There's a lot of jobs out there. As long as you're clean, you live a good life, and you take care of yourself, and you are a good person, I'm telling you, that's the name of the game. My daughter is a CDL driver. She's a beautiful girl. She's a CDL driver in Phoenix, Arizona. Passed her CDL. She used to be a bus driver in Breckenridge, Colorado. Got the she has an A and B license, CDL. Got a job, an amazing job. And you thought, wow, God. And she said they're crying out. They cannot find drivers because you need a clean record. She's 30 years old. How many 30-year-olds have a clean record? Another speeding ticket or this ticket or that ticket. It's rare. As I'm saying, you need to be clean to go up in the world. You know, we're not saying you're going to be a billionaire. What I'm saying is you will rise. And it happened to me with my jobs. And I found one quickly. A 67-year-old guy finds 2 jobs. I could have had 4. Just shows you it can be done. And when you see, well, people don't want to go down. These jobs were down for what I'm used to. Okay, way down. Half of what I'm used to. What I'm trying to get at is that you can be choosy. You have to take what you can get. Okay, I was buying and selling stuff. I had a lot of stuff to sell, which I was doing, and accumulating some money for debts I had, things I had to pay. And I'm happy I did it in that respect. I got things paid. I don't owe anyone a penny now. I'm kind of like SarasotaTim. I don't owe anybody a penny, and I have plenty of money. No, I don't have plenty of money, but I don't owe anybody anything. And that's a nice feeling. And so now it's onwards and upwards. I'm actually looking for a job here in Mexico. Once I get my permit, my residency permit settled, which should be in the next month or 2, then I can go and look for a job. I already was not offered it, but I went into a place to look for a job, and they said to me, "Where's your permit?" And I said, "Well, I don't have it right now. I did have it, but it expired, and I have to reapply." And they said, "Once you get your permit, please come back." Okay? So now I am going back to them, and I will get a job with them once I get my permit. They said the reason we need the permit is you have to pay taxes now. It's not like before. They used to actually pay people on the table to work. It's an American company, and they want Americans to work there. They need English speakers really bad who speak fluent English. That's the key, is fluent English. Mexicans can speak fluent English. A lot can, but a lot speak broken, and working over the phone, telemarketing, that really, you know, it's not really telemarketing, it's actually selling to actual stores. So you're not really talking to the public, but you are talking to bosses of stores, department heads, that kind of thing. And that's what, you know, I don't think I could work marketing, dealing with the public. I don't think I could. Because how many times have I put the phone down in my, you know, millions of times. I said, "Oh, goodbye," and I bang down. I wouldn't like that feeling if I was on the other end of the phone. I have done it, I've got to admit, like everyone else has, because you get inundated with calls. You make one move, and you get inundated with 20 calls. So anyway, you can do this. I'm trying to learn behind the camera, to speak to you guys. I really am. I'm trying to learn. Every time I get behind there, I'm trying to learn. I made a lot of videos before, like 65 videos. They did okay. There's some people worse than me who don't get as many views as I do. But I know I can do better. I know that I can thrive and give you guys some encouragement to do certain things. Like, you need the encouragement. People need encouragement. Because if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. You're going to go, "Well, I should have listened to that guy 10 years ago." If I didn't think Mexico was a good option, I wouldn't tell you about it. Honestly, I'd talk about something else. But anyway, I love all of you, and I promise I'll be back out here tomorrow to give you another video.